What's good, guys? In this video we are going to be building an e-commerce store with FlutterFlow. So think of something like Amazon.com, eBay, and many other e-commerce platforms out there. Now in this video we are going to be using some of the intermediate as well as an advanced functionality of FlutterFlow. So even if you may not want to build an e-commerce store right away, there's going to be a lot of features, a lot of functionality that you may find useful in some of your other projects. Now, before we get started, if you like NoCode, if you're interested in building software without writing a single line of code, if you want to learn, sell, market software, or you just have a curiosity for your own personal reasons, but you're not technical, or maybe you know learning code isn't really your thing, well, you've came to the right place. On this channel, all we talk about is writing software, building software without writing a single line of code. So that if that's something you're interested in, definitely smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And so this is the architecture that we are thinking about. We are gonna have 4 preliminary pages. This is gonna be the home page, and initially it's gonna list categories of different products. The user may want to click on one of these categories and they're going to be redirected to the products page that's going to list the products for one of these categories. Later on, they can add one or more products to a shopping cart, and on this page they are going to see their shopping cart. They're going to see all the products that have been added to their shopping cart, and they can also click on the button and they're going to be redirected to the checkout page where they can submit their credit card information, shipping address, stuff like that, where they can eventually buy these products. Now, when it comes to kind of the storage structure, the data structure, we are going to be using Firestore database. This is part of the Google suite of Firebase that includes Firestore database. And we are going to have 2 entities here, 2 collections. We are going to have the categories collection, which is going to have the ID, the name, and the image. And we are going to have the products collection, which is going to have the ID, the category ID, the name, brand, release year, image, and price. And that way we're going to separate them, right? We're going to have the various categories, and on this entity we're going to have various products that are going to have the category document ID, which is going to allow them to link back to the specific category. Now that you've seen the architecture, the first thing that we need to do is we need to go out and create this database. After that, we are going to go into FlutterFlow and we're going to go out and actually build the app. Now, here's my Google Sheet where I have the data that we're going to be using. So I have 2 sheets here. I have categories and I have products here. So for categories, we have 3 fields. This is the document ID, which is going to be generated automatically. And we have name and image. And we have 3 records. So we have 3 categories. We have scooters, smartphones, and headphones. Okay. Now for the products, we have a document ID, which is also going to be generated automatically. And then we have brand, name, release year, price, and image. And so here we have 9 products, which is essentially 3 products per category. And we have various other fields. Now that we have the data here, let's go into Firestore DB and get this data imported. So here I am at the Firebase console. We're going to add a new project here and we're going to call this FlutterDB, something like this. We're going to hit continue. We're going to say create project. We're going to hit continue and we are going to go to Firestore database. The next thing we want to do is we want to create a new database. We're going to do in test mode. We're going to hit next. We're going to hit enable. And here's our database. The next thing you guys want to do is you want to create a couple of collections, one for categories and one for products, and then either import your data if you have a lot of records, or if you have a couple of records, you can create them manually. Now, I already went out and did that for you. Okay, so here I have 2 categories, 2 collections. We have categories and products. So if you go into categories, we have 3 documents. We have the image field and the name field, and this is the document ID. And same thing for the products. We have here 6 documents. So we have several documents for one of these categories, then we have a couple of documents for the next category, and then a couple of documents for the last category here. Now, once we have this part created, the next step is you want to go into your FlutterFlow account and create a new app. So I'm going to create a new app. We're going to call this eCom Store. We're going to say create new, next step. And here we need to enter the project ID, our Firebase project ID. We're going to go back, click on this gear icon, project settings, copy this field here, hit connect, and we're going to auto-generate config files, okay? We're going to generate files, and it says here Firebase setup complete. We're going to go to start building, and before we actually start building, we need to do another thing. We're going to hit up Firestore right here, and we're going to create a couple of collections here, okay? We need to match the schema here to our Firestore DB schema. So we're going to create a collection for categories and a collection for products. So now let's create the fields. So let's go back. What do we have for the categories? We really have 2 fields, image and name. We're going to go in here. We're going to say image. Now here we want to pick image path. Okay, we're going to hit create, and name is going to be a string. Same thing for the product. Now for the product, we have brand, image, name, price, release here, and the reference. We're going to go back here. We're going to say brand, string, name, and that's the fields we have here. One thing to note is that we have a reference here. This is the category reference ID, and that links back to the document reference from the categories collection. That way we can tie it together. Next thing you want to do is you want to go into settings and you want to hit validate. And it says here validation status is successful. So now we're pretty much done on this database part. We have the database in Firestore DB, and we have the schema here in FlutterFlow. Now we can start building the UI and the logic, as well as the database calls in order to pull the data and show it to the end user. So let's go back here, and the first thing we need to do is we need to create a bunch of pages. So remember, we have here 4 pages. We have a home page, we have products, cart, and checkout. So let's do that real quick. We're gonna add a new page. We're gonna do this products, and I'm just gonna say list, create new. We're gonna do a cart view, create new, and then checkout view, create new. And so now we have 4 pages, okay? Next, you want to start working on the first page, okay? So we may want to change this title here to say home page. The next thing we want to do is we want to go in here to the UI Builder tab, and we want to add a list, okay? We want to add the list. So we're going to go in here and we're going to search for a list. Just going to drag and drop this list view here. Now inside the list view, you want to add the elements that are going to be repeated with the data that you want. Now you can do it from scratch, but a much better way is by clicking here on this templates tab here and scrolling down and picking something that you like. For instance, this one is nice. This thing is really cool. We're going to drag and drop it right here. Okay. So now if you come in here to the widget tree, you see we have the list view here, and then we have our template here, okay? So this template has a text. We may want to fix it up a little bit. So we have a text right here. We may want to add a text like this. We may want to add another text. We can customize it as well. So for instance, we have a column here. We might want to add a row and have text aligned in a horizontal fashion. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure this works. So we're going to hit list view. We're going to go to the database tab here, and we're going to set up backend query collection, categories, list of documents, confirm. And now you see it kind of it starts to repeat itself. These are grayed out just to show you that this is going to be a list view that has data. Next thing, we want to click on this image and we want to say set from variable, categories document. We want to pick an image, okay? And the next thing we want to do is we want to go to the text and we wanted to set to categories document. We wanted to set to name, okay? So now we have two variables. We have image and name. Now for the categories, we are using all the fields here. So we are fine. There's no more fields left for us to use. So let's try running this app and see if it displays the data that we want. And so if you run the app, this is the result we are seeing. As you can see, we have the images here as well as the categories. Now, of course, we need to change the text. We need to change the background. We need to fix it up to make it look a little bit nicer, but the logic and the actual code works perfectly. So now the app looks a little bit better once you improve the colors a little bit. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to create logic from this page to the next page. That way they can click on a category, be redirected to the product list page, have the list of products there for that specific category. Before we can do that, we need some kind of a button or something that is gonna signal to them that they can click on it and be redirected to the products list page. There's a couple of things that we can do, but one of the things that we can do is we can go to this row and we can simply add something else. As an example, we can add a button to this row here. So we can go to the click on this row, click on the plus, and then simply add a button. We can add this button or this button. Let's add this button just to keep things simple. And we have a button here. Now we can align it a little bit nicer. So we can come in here and we can align it, space it out. We can also space it like this if you want. That looks pretty decent. And now we have a button here, okay? Now this button, obviously we can control the width. We can set it to 100. We can do even like 50. And for this button, let's say we want it to be 50. And for the text, we're just gonna say go. So we're gonna make it a little bit bigger, let's say 60. And once they click on it, it's gonna redirect them to this second page here, the product list page, with the category document ID. Okay, so this is very, very important. So what that means is that we need to go to this page and we need to create parameters for this page. We need to define parameters that this page is gonna be receiving. We're gonna add a parameter. We're gonna say, this is going to be a cat ref ID, category reference ID, and this is going to be a document reference. Collection type is going to be for categories. We're going to hit confirm. And now we can go back here. We can click on this button. We can go to the action editor, add an action, and we're going to say navigate to product list, and it's asking for a parameter. Okay, we can even define parameters, but we're going to pass parameter. We're looking for this. And we are gonna define it. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna pass this parameter here, okay? So now this second page gets the parameter and it can use that parameter to display just the products in that category. Now that we are on this page, what we wanna do is we wanna do a couple of things. The first thing that we wanna do is we wanna pull up that category, okay? Maybe we wanna display it here. And the second thing that we wanna do is we wanna have a list that displays the products for that specific category. So if we click on products list, what we want to do is we want to get document from reference, we want to do categories, and we're going to pick that category ref ID. We're going to hit confirm. Now we have that category document here. So meaning that we can click here, we can say set page from variable, categories document, name. And this is going to display the name of the category that was clicked on the previous page. So that is complete. The next thing we want to do is we want to add a list view here, and we want to do a row, and inside the row we can format it however we want. So for instance, we might want an image first, and then we may want a some more text. So for instance, let's take a look. Going to products, we have brand, image, name, price, release year. So for instance, we can have an image and then we might have a text, and this text might be the brand, and underneath might be the name of the product. So in other words, we can have an image, and then we can add a column here, and then a column may have a row, and then here we're gonna add the fields that we want. We might want text, we might want another text, and because this is a column, they're gonna be arranged vertically. Okay, so for instance, this one might be a brand. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to list view, and we're gonna do a query type, query collection on products, and we're gonna filter by reference ID. Okay, equal to from variable categories ref ID. Okay, so this is what got passed from the previous page, and this is what's in the products collection. We're gonna hit confirm. Okay, so now we have a backend query. So this image, let's set the image as the product image, products document image. This thing is gonna be the brand. Actually, let's have it as the name. Okay, products document name, and this is gonna be the brand. Products document brand. Okay, and we can have the name a little bit bigger, maybe 16, and then the brand a little bit smaller underneath. And we also have the price and the release here. Okay, so let's have the price. I don't think we need the release here. Let's have a price. Let's add another column here, and let's add a row. Let's add a text, and this is going to be products document price. Confirm. And we may want to space it out just a little bit, maybe something like this. That looks pretty cool. And then let's add another button that's gonna add it to the shopping cart, okay? Because they're shopping on this page. Let's add another button. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another column here, and we're gonna add a button here. And maybe I want an icon button this time, okay? We want the icon button, and let's scroll down. What kind of icon do we want? Maybe I don't know, a plus sign, something like this. That's gonna add it to the shopping cart, okay? So let's first run this and make sure that it's actually displaying the right thing, that we're actually passing the right values and we're displaying the right category, okay? So let's do that. Let's go back to this, make sure that we have it set up correctly. We have home page, we have this thing navigation to products list, we're passing the value. All right, let's try this. All right, so here's the app. And let's say we click on headphones. We say go, and we get all the headphones here, okay? Let's say we click on scooters. We don't have any scooters. And let's say we click on smartphones. We see a smartphone there, okay? So it looks like the app is working as we had expected. Now we need to implement this button to add stuff to the cart, okay? So let's go back. And the way we're going to be storing stuff inside the cart is we're going to be using something called the local state. Okay, so if you click on local state, define variables you want to store on the device across different pages. You can enable storage on device by checking the persist toggle on any variable. So let's add a new state variable. We're going to call it cart. Okay, and what we're going to be storing is document references. Okay, this is going to be a product. And this is going to be a list, right? Cart is one or more items. We're going to hit create, okay? So if you click on it, you can add them manually, meaning like you can actually add the path to the reference. And so if we go back to the app, once we go to the second page, this button right here, we want to choose this button. We want to go to the action editor, open, add action. And if we scroll down, we have update local state. We're going to choose that. We're going to say cart, select update type. We're going to say add to list, value source from variable. We're going to say product document, and we're going to say reference, product reference. Okay. So now if you click on it, it's going to add the reference of this product here to the list of the cart. Okay. And so now we can go to the cart view and build our cart view page. We're going to come in here. We're going to say shopping cart. We are going to go back to our UI builder, pick a list view, drag and drop it. And we're going to add a row here. And we are going to start adding the elements that we want. So let's say we want the image. We have the image here. We may want text as well, just to keep things very, very simple. And now what we want to do is we want to click on list view, and we want to go to this option right here that says generate dynamic children. We're going to say cart items, and we're going to click here and pick local state cart items. and we're gonna say confirm. And now we are gonna create a list from our local variable. That's basically a collection of documents. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to go to the row and you want to do a query type document from reference, and you want to pick products. Here you want to pick this cart items item, because remember, this is an item that we are getting from the local store, and this item is essentially a reference to a product. So we're going to pick that, hit confirm. And then if we go to the image, we can set path from variable products document, and we can pick image here, because now it understands that we're dealing with a product. We're a product document. And same thing here, we can pick this, scroll, set from variable products document, and then we can pick name or whatever we want. So let's say we're just gonna keep it simple, just name. And now we have a shopping cart and we're getting these values. Let's format it real quick. We're gonna go to row. Let's scroll down. Let's space it out a little bit like this. Maybe something like this, you know, whatever you guys want. Yeah, something like this. We can fix it up later. Now let's run the app and let's make sure it does exactly what we wanted to do. But before that, we want to go to product list and we want to have an option where they can view cart. Okay, so we have this list here, but what I want to do is I want to add another option where they can go and view the cart. So I'm going to add another button. We're going to add a little bit of padding, something like this. This button is going to say cart, view cart. This view cart is going to redirect to the next page. Navigate to cart view. Okay, so now if we click plus to a bunch of these, we're gonna add them to the local store, and then when we view cart, it's gonna redirect to this page right here, and hopefully we're gonna see the products that we've chosen. Let's try this out. All right, so here's our app, and let's go into headphones, and let's say we want to add these headphones, this, and this. So we added 3 products. So let's go into view cart and we see 3 products. So it's adding them up correctly. Now what we need to do is we can also add a button that removes it, and we can also add a button that says checkout, which is going to take us to the last page where they can form their order. So let's go and do that right now. So first, let's make an option where they can remove the product. We're going to go into cart view. We're going to go into row. And what we want to do is we want to add another button here. Icon button, and let's say we want it to be like a minus or something. Let's say something like this, like a cancel button. Okay, so now if you click on it, we go into actions. We are gonna add an action. We're gonna update local state, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna update that specific item, and we are gonna remove from list. Okay, and what are we gonna remove? Well, we are going to remove the one that we have now, this products document here. And what we're going to be removing is this item, the item that we pulled up in one of the other queries here, this cart items. The next thing that we want to do is we want to add a button that's going to do a checkout. So we're going to go back here and we are going to add a button right here. We are going to do a top padding maybe of 50, and this is going to say checkout. Okay, and this is going to redirect them to that last page where they can finalize their order. So this is going to be, we're going to hit action, add an action, navigation to checkout view. Okay, so now let's go to that last page, checkout view, and let's create this checkout screen. Okay, and essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to list the same items there, and we're going to give them an option to purchase. And so you can kind of do the same thing. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to have a list. We're going to have a list view that's going to display the items that they want. And we're going to have a summary on the bottom or something like that. So we're going to have a row here. In the row, we're going to have the image. We're going to have the name of the product here. Maybe space it out a little bit here. And later on, we can have something like place an order. And so this list view here is gonna get data from the shopping cart, which is essentially the local state. We're gonna backend query. We're gonna do generate dynamic children, cart items. We're gonna do local state, which is gonna be a list of product references. Confirm. Now it's this. And then for each row, we're gonna come in here, backend query. We're gonna do document from reference. We're gonna do products. And we're gonna do cart items. Confirm. Now we have not the references, but the actual products. So we're gonna click on the image, set path, product, image. This thing is going to be a name, product name. And now we're gonna have the products that we chose that we want to purchase. And then maybe we're gonna have a button at the bottom. So we're gonna go to the column. Maybe we can add a container. We wanna pad it 50 from the top. And then this container is gonna have a button. Something like this, a button. Let's expand this. Let's make this a little bit wider, maybe 300. That's a little bit too wide. The height 50. Yeah, that looks really cool. Let's change maybe the color of this. I don't know, something, maybe a light blue or something like this. And change the color of the actual font from white to maybe black. Okay. So now you have a button. You can make the corners rounded. You can do a lot of interesting things as well. You can make it something like this. That looks kind of cool. And this button is going to go out and purchase it. Okay, so you're going to have a flow. Maybe you're going to connect to Stripe. Maybe it's going to connect to PayPal. Maybe something else. Essentially, it's going to go out and purchase these products. So let's fix the title here. We're going to say checkout. Let's double check if the title is set up correctly for the cart view. Shopping cart. This is the name of the category, homepage, and we have the checkout here. And so let's run this and see if that works. All right, so let's click on headphones here. Let's add all three. View cart, we see all three. We can remove it, and as you can see, it removes it. Now we have two products. Go to checkout, and we see two products. Obviously, this button should be renamed to buy these products. And we can also display the total. We can display another form. We can do all kinds of interesting things. And that's really, really easy to do. All we need to do is click on this last page, this checkout, and we can just add something here and we can scroll down. There's lots of interesting things that we can do. We can use a checkout summary such as this one. We can use one of the other templates here. It's really, really up to you. But nonetheless, we need to change that button over here so we can scroll down and say purchase. And that will hopefully create another flow. Maybe you're going to be doing an API call. Maybe you're going to be doing something else. It's really up to you how you want to customize this app. But regardless how you're going to be building your own e-commerce app, the basic flow will probably be the same like I explained in this video. And so that is all that I wanted to talk about in today's video. I really hope you've gotten value here. If you did, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and definitely do not forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you do not miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you real soon.